Hi guys. So this will be like my first, I guess, like real tutorial that I've did a voiceover on and actually posted it, because every time that I would try to, it just would never work. And I don't know. And I'm moving so fast. The clips are so short. Oh my gosh, I'm already on my eyebrows. So I already did my base routine. Like I already prepped my skin and everything. Then I went in with my Bobbi Brown, um, the primer and moisturizer, everything. And then on my eyelid, I literally just grabbed a random old foundation as like the brown shadow for my eyes. And then now I just went in with the Morphe eyebrow pencil, and now I'm just filling in my brows. Um Honestly, like, I don't really like to do my eyebrows first anymore. Like, I always like to do them at the end, but I know a lot of people do brows first. Like, I mean, it really just depends on the day. Like, I really don't have like a real routine. Like, I just like do it. I don't know. I don't know. But this is how I did it this day. So, enjoy watching. I'm actually like not really a super big fan of this eyeliner, but I think it was the only one I had. And I also want to say I literally only had like the worst of my brushes. I left all of my brushes at somebody's house before this, and I just had to work with what I had. So I don't want to hear nothing about my brushes, please. Next, I went in with my foundation. I used a NARS. I can't remember which shade. I know I showed it in the video. And I just spread it out with my fingers. When I do my own makeup, this is like how I do it, but on somebody else, I'll use a brush. I honestly never use sponges anymore on clients other than myself, but I like to do both here and there. But I mean, like I said, I had to work with what I had, so I probably didn't even have the foundation brush. Um, and this concealer, this was the first time I tried it. I had it in the shade Pearl. And I like to put my concealer on first because I like it to set for a little while. I like it to sit for the longest amount of time instead of, because it will give more coverage. And it cut out for a second, but like I was saying, it gives more coverage. And I also just wanted to see if it dried fast or not. But I also like to put it on, I like to put it on before I do my blush and my cream bronzer and everything. Also, with my foundation, I don't really like to put it on my nose or like under my eyes or anything, because I just don't really need it, because we're gonna already go over with concealer and cream bronzer and everything. So it's kind of just unnecessary. That's why I just put like a little bit on my nose, because I really don't like too much on my nose. But we're gonna see how I do everything right here. And then I just use like the excess from my nose onto my forehead, I guess, right here. Then I just go in with this is actually a concealer. I use it as a bronzer sometimes, most of the time. And I put it kind of like pretty high up, because I like my face to give very lifted. Also, this is like a trick that I see people doing, which I mean, well, I don't know who I learned it from, but I've been doing it also for a little while, just around my lips, and it literally, you will look like you have lip fillers, and like it changes your life. And I try not to really do like the typical like straight down lines on my nose to contour it, because not everybody's nose shape is the same, and I feel like when I round out the tip of my nose, it makes my nose look the best instead of just like creating like those two lines. So I feel like rounding it out just makes my nose appear better, I guess. I don't know. But that's just how I like to do it. So for my blush, I still have like a love-hate relationship with blush. I love it, but it's still like kind of like new to me, like, cause I don't know, like I never used to wear blush, so I like it sometimes and then sometimes I don't. But I guess I put a good amount, and I do like to blend it like into my, of course, my bronzer and a little bit under my eye, just to give like that pink, not a pink eye effect, but like the blush girl, the cute blush that is just so trendy. And here, oh, I just take like a little bit of the concealer that I put in my inner corner and I just kind of like sharpen out my, I guess, eyeshadow, um, just to give it like a more sharper appearance. Try not to drag down your concealer. Um, just try to like keep it in the same place, and you also start to see me like kind of create like a V shape, from the inner corner of my eye to like the middle of my nose, and it just kind of like pinches. I also want to apologize for like the view. I was just bored and I decided to do a video, and I tried my best. I worked with what I had, but I already did order like new stuff for me to like set up my camera and everything. So the next video will be better. If it's on me, if it's on somebody else, the camera will be directly at them, but you know. So right here, I am kind of showing you guys like it kind of like blurs your nose like when you create that shape. Like I just start from like literally from like the front of my eyebrows barely past my eyes, and I would just do that. I'll drag that down a little bit, blend that down a little bit, and then from the inner corner of my eye to the middle of my nose, create that V shape, and then around the tip of my nose. And it literally will blur your nose. Like, I don't, like, you're gonna get a new shape, girl. Like, please. Also, right here, like I said, I really didn't have any brushes. So I just went back to what, I remember. And just use a sponge to set my under eyes, because I didn't have any of my powder puffs with me. So, but I still like this way, nothing's wrong with it. Still works good, works really great. And you see, I just like you. I'm just kind of like showing like how I kind of set it instead of, I don't just go into it baking. I set the face first and then I'll bake, and I'll show you like how I will bake my nose and my under eyes and my whole face in a minute. Also, another very important thing, when you are setting any part of your face, you want to make sure that there are no creases, because then you're going to set the crease. That's why before I set it, you see me going in with the brush real quick just to do that. And then right here, I just went in with another, just a flat brush, with my Dermablend powder, and I am just again like creating like the V shape from the inner corner of my eye to the middle of my nose, and that is, now I am starting like my baking process. So with that Juvia's palette, I actually used their eyeshadow as like my bronzer. I've been doing this for literally years, and I don't think it will ever change. I've tried other bronzers, but I just keep going back to this same one. Like, I just love it. Like, the color is perfect. I am going to check real quick what it is called, and I will be right back. So it's the Warriors palette in the shade Kano. She eats down. Oh, here I am. So when I bake over here, I don't drag it all the way to my mouth, just halfway, and I kind of drag down the powder to set my face instead of like just packing it on there. I just, create my line and then I drag it down. So I guess right here is a little funny, but to avoid like your smile lines right there, I seen somebody on TikTok and they do it like this, and I do it like that now. I don't know who did this, but they have changed my life, and I do it on clients. Sometimes I'm like, this is gonna sound a little funny, but puff up your, look like a who for a minute, but I promise you, you will really not have smile lines, and you'll be great. So with the blush, I do like it a little bit under my eyes, so you will see me put it, like halfway under my eyes, just to give like that super, not the pink eye effect, but the pink eye effect. And she is just so cute. So this is when I start loving the blush. Yeah. Also, as you can see, I also like brush off the baking powder with the excess of my blush and kind of just sweep it off. So I go back in with my like damp sponge and kind of like really press those powders in to my skin, and it also has like the excess um foundation on there and everything. And then right here, what the heck am I doing? Okay, now I'm going to try to melt my powders, because I don't like, to have any type of like powdery look on my face. And then right here, I just grab like a random brown lip liner from the beauty supply, and just gonna do my pink brown lip. No, there's like no special way that I like outline my lips. I literally just outline them, so nothing special here. So before I put on lashes, because as you could tell, I only have about 7 lashes on both of my eyes. I need to fill in. But I always like to go in with a line. Just a line. It doesn't have to always be a wing, but it will just create like a thicker lash effect. And sometimes you can see like the band from the eyelash, and nobody wants to see that. Like, that's not what we're going for. Um, Also, the eyeliner I was using was just one from NYX, just the NYX liquid liner. So right here, I like to just kind of go over my lips with powder, just to kind of like give it like more of like a gradient effect, and kind of set my lips, even though, because like lip liner just don't last for real. Like, lip gloss really doesn't last. And then again, in the Warriors palette, using like that pinkish nudie shade, and I just put it in the center of my lips, also just creating like a gradient effect, and also just to kind of like create like a longer lasting lip. And this is like how I do it on myself and others. You can do it with any colors you want. This is just the one I decided to go for today. And then I just top it off with, I believe this is a fortune cookie from NYX. And so okay, whatever. And I just put it in the center of my lips first, and then sometimes I go over my lip liner with it. I guess it just depends on how much product I have on my lips. Oh, yep, there you go. And then I definitely will go over it with just a regular clear gloss. that'll be it for my lips. This might be my favorite step in my routine is bottom mascara, bottom lashes. I just love it. Like, it just really brings your look to the next level. And I also put mascara on my top lashes as well because it helps like your lashes stick a little bit better. And I do want to say it, I did lose some footage of me putting my lashes on, but that was the last step, so nobody missed anything. So when it ends, don't be confused, please. Yeah, did y'all just see my lips just come to life? Look at that. Oh, she's so tea. This is my lash box.